As one of the first to review the brand new Osmo Pocket, it's now time to test it fully in full 4K. Hit subscribe and enjoy the video. Now, no doubt every other review of this lovely new little product is going to be in beach and sun and sand and tropical locations. Well, unfortunately, I live in the UK, but I am in a beautiful city of Bristol, which is unfortunately experiencing some pretty poor weather at the moment. But hopefully this will still illustrate just how good this product is. So I'm walking along at the moment. Face Track has automatically enabled because it can see that I've turned the camera onto the selfie mode, where basically it swivels the gimbal 180 degrees so it points back. And no matter where I put the camera, or no matter where I put my arm, I should say, Face Track makes sure that it keeps me in shot, and it's doing a really good job actually. Later that evening, I tested face tracking again, but this time I sat the Osmo Pocket down on its base just to see how well it could track me whilst moving around the pub, with my well-deserved pint of beer, of course. It did a brilliant job despite much lower indoor light levels, and by the way, this was shot in 1080p and upscaled. So I just thought I'd test to see if the face track feature supports two faces, and clearly, as you can see, it doesn't. So bear that in mind if you're using it to capture people. It will only track one, but software update might change that in the future. When Face Track is enabled, you can use the gimbal slider on the screen of the Osmo Pocket to change the framing of the footage so that it looks a lot better. So now time for the ultimate gimbal test, running. Let's see how it does. As you can see, despite running, the Osmo Pocket's 3-axis mechanical gimbal does a great job of stabilising the footage. I'm still shocked at just how capable this tiny little gimbal is. Anyway, let's now take a look at Active Track. Just as with the other Osmo products in the range, it's also got Active Track. So if you don't want to use face tracking and you want to actually keep the lens focused on an object, that's doable as well. Now, if you've got the app, you can draw a box around the object. But if you're just using the Osmo Pocket on its own like I am here, then you just simply double tap on the object that you want to track. It confirms that it's going to track it, Active Track on, and now we can move around. And if I don't move the Osmo Pocket, you can see that the gimbal is automatically rotating to keep it in shot. Using the app connected to the Osmo Pocket gives you much better precision, and here I simply drew a box around the boat and the Osmo Pocket followed it precisely as it headed towards and underneath me. When using Active Track, the Osmo Pocket also uses the tracking object as a focal reference, therefore it keeps it nice and sharp. I even drew a box around 3 little ducks, and it even managed to track them as they sailed away on the water. Now, impressively, this camera does have a focal range mechanically, and so it is important to make sure you get your subject in focus, otherwise your shots are going to be blurred, like this one that I captured in a pub during a time-lapse test. So let's now talk about how to use autofocus. The focus feature is automatic, but it doesn't always focus where you want, so you do need to help it sometimes. In this test, the window is currently in focus. Simply tap on the screen where you want the Osmo Pocket to focus, and you'll now notice that the flowers are sharp and also that the image exposure is automatically adjusted as well. When using the app, it's exactly the same, although once again you gain far more precision than when just using the tiny screen of the Osmo Pocket. This last shot also demonstrates the macro capabilities of the focus. Next, we're going to take a look at Timelapse, which is a little bit like Motionlapse, but without the movement. Timelapse mode is accessible by swiping from the right and then choosing the option. You can then also set the interval and video length settings as well as up to an hour or constant. Then simply hit the record button, and after a short stabilisation, it'll start capturing automatically. As mentioned earlier, do set your focus first, otherwise the results might be blurry. That is an advantage of using the app, I would have noticed, whereas on the small screen, you can't quite tell. I shot some additional time-lapse shots, and this really is one of my favourite features. I also loved this feature on the original Osmo Mobile too. I even captured one this evening with me editing this massive review long into the night with the occasional crazy face. Next, we'll take a look at one of my favourite features, Motionlapse. Just as with Timelapse, you slide from the right to select it, and then you can also select the interval and duration by sliding right again. You'll again need to ensure that the Osmo Pocket is on a steady platform for this mode. You then very gently by hand move the gimbal to its starting position, then tap in the middle of the screen to set it. Finally, move the gimbal again by hand to its finishing position, and finally press the centre of the screen to finish. To start, just press the record button and the gimbal automatically moves to its starting position to capture the motion lapse, and the results are just brilliant. So long as you set the Osmo Pocket on a solid platform, you'll get results like this, captured with a motion lapse of just 10 minutes. Here's another motion lapse captured this evening in the bar and restaurant of the hotel that I'm currently staying in. I really do love the effect and result of this feature. Now this is a feature that I don't remember being included in the Osmo Mobile. It's called slow motion. Let's take a look at how well it performs. Once you select slow motion from the modes menu, the camera switches to 1080p, but also the image zooms in very slightly. Then simply point and film as you would normally, and you can move the camera as you wish whilst filming, and it just captures a constantly recording slow motion video. The result is footage slowed down by 4 times, but I really like that you don't need to move the camera around slowly. You can basically film as normal without any time limits. The quality is very nice, but it would be good if a future firmware update could push that resolution up to 4K. However, bitrate might be a challenge there. Hopefully DJI will also introduce some additional speeds here. It would be lovely to have the ability to slow down the footage even further. I also tested slow motion in low light and it did pretty well, but the video result is a little bit grainy, as you would expect where the ISO is forced upwards to cater for darker lighting. So not only does the Osmo Pocket take video, but it also captures photos, 12 megapixels as well. Let's take some photos in and around Bristol and see how they look. Capturing photos is very easy. Simply enter photo mode and then you take a photo by pressing the red shutter button. Photos are captured and stored very quickly with minimal lag. As with the other modes, swiping right twice gives you the various other options, including aspect ratio and even a countdown timer, which is going to be great for those selfies. As you'd expect from a DJI product, the basic photo quality is very good. They're sharp as long as you've set the right focal point, but overall the colours and the contrast are nice. It's just a shame that the weather wasn't a little less grey and overcast at the time of testing, but hopefully you get the idea. Finally, to supplement your photos, you can take panoramas as well. The Osmo Pocket has 2 different types. We're going to test them both out right now. You access the panoramas from the mode menu, and then again you can swipe right twice to access the different types of pano mode, 180 or 3x3. Once in this mode, hit the shutter button and the Osmo Pocket does the rest for you, automatically rotating around to capture the panorama image and beeping when finished. Also note that you don't need to have the Osmo Pocket sat on a solid surface to do this. You can even be holding it at the time, however you must hold it still and upright. The results of the 180 pano are really nice and you end up with a very high resolution, clear and detailed image, and you can also zoom deeply into it without a loss of quality, plus the stitching is perfect. The 3x3 mode also gives a really nice result, a really large high resolution image giving the impression of a much wider FOV. Ideal if you want to capture a scene, but you can't get far enough away from it so as to photograph everything. The only negative is that the panorama generation isn't done on the device. Therefore, to get your panorama in full, you need to connect the Osmo Pocket to the app, which then renders it and lets you view it. After which, it's stored as one big file for you on the phone and also on the SD card. So that's the testing of the new Osmo Pocket complete, but what do I think? Well, let's have a summary. I absolutely love the form factor of this tiny little device, and it's well built, compact, solid feeling, and is perfect for vlogging without needing a selfie stick because it's easy to hold with one hand, unlike a GoPro, which is its closest competitor. The tiny 3-axis mechanical gimbal is just incredible, and I've got no doubt that we'll see this on a tiny DJI drone in the future. Electronic image stabilisation is good, but nothing beats a mechanical gimbal. The quality of the image is also very good too, sharp with great contrast, although the autofocus does need some firmware updates to improve it, and clearly we'd all love to see a Hasselblad camera on version 2. Another element that I haven't mentioned are the accessories being launched for the Osmo Pocket, and there are quite a few. We'll be producing a video shortly to showcase them all, but watch this space because sports mounts and a waterproof 60-meter housing are on their way from DJI. My biggest complaints are the lack of Hyperlapse, one of my favourite Osmo Mobile 2 features, and that could easily be ported to the Osmo Pocket. Hopefully it'll arrive via a firmware update. Finally, there's the price, and it's not cheap at around $350, but hopefully over time that price will decrease to make this far more affordable. Overall, it's a great and innovative little product. DJI yet again have produced something that right now just wasn't out there before, so let's applaud that and get excited for what's to come next. So that concludes our review of the brand new DJI Osmo Pocket. What did you think? Comment below with your thoughts, links to it are in the video description, and of course click subscribe. Thanks very much for watching.